let's start with swimsuit to begin with. So what I like to do is get up against the wall so that your head, the back of your head, is against the wall. You'll notice that everyday life we kind of move our head forward, so it's really crucial that your posture is impeccable on stage with shoulders back. Especially when you're in gown and if you have hair up, everyone's going to be able to see your posture. The other thing is when you're on the right-hand side of the stage, you pop the right leg. All of the weight should be on your left leg. I have my left foot almost perpendicular and like a little T. That's why they call it the T stance. So maybe you can show my feet so that you can see that. Anyway, so you're going to see I don't really put a lot of weight on the front of the front foot. You should get strong enough in your back foot that you are literally able to move and still stay balanced on one leg. Both of your legs should be that strong. If they're not, you need to be practicing. Just putting your weight on your back leg. The other thing you want to do is always have your shoulders facing towards judges. It slenderizes your hips and waist if you kind of have your hip facing more towards the judges and your upper body twists. I recommend you practice and stretch and do twists, and I'll show you how that is. So what I do when I'm training, after I train, I pull my right knee over to the left side and I stretch my right arm out straight, and I'm literally working both directions with my torso so that I'm able to turn. Turning is crucial on stage because if you are sideways to the judges, I'll show you what it looks like. Here is sideways to the judges. Here is upper body facing the judges. Tell me which one looks better. So when you come out, it's a matter of you having purpose when you come out onto the stage. I like an arm that's not too swingy. If your arm is too swingy, you start noticing a lot of swing in the arm. So I recommend you swinging from the upper portion of your arm. Try to keep your arms bent, but yet you don't want to have them overtaking your body. It's a little bit too young, and it's more for like a teen who's competing in a glitz pageant. Like you'll see these glitzy girls and they're doing all of this. That's a whole different style of pageantry. But if you're doing USA or Mrs. System, then it's going to be a little bit more relaxed in the arms, and yet you're still just moving them only so much, like a 45-degree angle away from your body. The other thing to know about swimsuit is it's personality-based. So you want to have fun. Make sure you're having a ball out there. And when you're posing, your shoulders should be pulled down. You don't want to have your shoulders up here. Some people pose and they bring their shoulders up pretty high. You want to keep your neck looking long, your shoulders relaxed. You want your elbows slightly behind you. I had a coach once who never told me, so I was like this. And then you look really pointy if you have skinny arms like mine. So you want them back. This is particularly USA style. Now, in terms of swimsuit, I like if you're on stage and you're waiting for your moment, I like you standing with both hands on your hips, and then it's go. Okay? You want to really give a moment when you're leaving your position so that you want to be in your stance, and then you want to be, so once they call your name, Wendi Russo, Mrs. Minnesota. I like to really come forward with some energy, and you want to walk in a straight line. So swimsuit, when you're walking, you should be walking one foot in front of the other. Why? It slenderizes your legs. How you practice that is you get two 8x10 boards, we call them, like you would get at a building store. You put them one in front of the other, and you practice walking on it with your shoes, your competition shoes, your gown shoes and your swimsuit shoes, because you want to get so good at walking in a line that you don't need to think about it, okay? One thing that helps you with is balance on stage, and it also helps you to learn, because eventually after you get better about walking on the boards, you'll just be able to keep your head up and not look down. When you're on stage, I never want you looking down. If you look down, I want you to glance with your eyes. Don't ever be like, a lot of people do this. They're getting into position, so they're looking, they look, and then they pose. You look like you don't know what you're doing. So everything has to be head up, chin up, eyes down. So when you come out, okay? to see confidence, terrific posture, and leg extensions. So when you're in swimsuit, here's no leg extensions. You'll see a lot of people do this. You may be doing it yourself. So this is, I don't know how to walk in heels. When you trust, you have to learn to fully extend. That means you're reaching with your legs and you're fully extending. You're almost going heel toe, heel toe. And I want to make sure you do that because it's going to create a long line, a beautiful long line with your legs. Okay, so that way you're not focusing on a bent knee. That's really crucial. So I want to give you an example of coming out in swimsuit. So first you're in your waiting position, and I'm waiting, and they call Mrs. Minnesota. So circle, usually in swimsuit, at least for misses, there'll be sometimes a circle. Okay, that's one way to do it. Another way, maybe in your state or your country, you're going to be walking forward and just posing. So when you come forward, you can do this. So I want you to notice that when I'm posing in swimsuit, I never have, or anything, I don't want your arm out here. Here's most people. Most people will walk towards you and they'll be posing. First of all, they walk with their arms way out here. And then you'll see people who walk and then they pose and they have their arm out. Very distracting. For you to look in control of your arms is going to make all the difference. So it's, see how I'm keeping my arms kind of moving slightly in front of me, but I'm keeping them around my body. I don't want flailing arms leaving your body. It looks really unpolished. So it's walking forward, one foot in front of the other. I'm positioning myself, and then notice how I'm connecting my arm to my hip. When you connect here, it creates a beautiful line. Like right now, I'm not in the best shape, but it makes me look good because I'm posing well. If you're posing badly, you know, or your posture's off, or you're leaning, some people like to lean when they pose, it's so crucial that when you pose, you're completely erect. I mean, not one lean, you don't need to do major head tilting. I really want you to stay close, chin up, and then I want your arm close to your body, touching. Then you go to your next mark. Notice how I'm keeping my upper body facing the judges, right? So then I come around, I'm switching stance because you're on now the left hand side of the stage. I want your left foot popped. When I walk to the right side, notice I'm keeping my upper body towards the judges. Now I'm going to walk, step back, pull, and now I'm facing with my right leg to them. So let me show you that again. When I'm walking, I'm just doing a little walk turn. So I'm doing walk, 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 step. I'm getting ready. I'm stepping back, and I'm pulling my right leg up. And then you have your hand close to your body, and you're in your final pose. Now as I leave, I always step forward to the judges, 2 steps. 1, 2. See how I'm trailing you with my eyes and my head? You want to keep your head always focused on judges. The reason I do the 2 steps forward is I want them to feel the confidence. So if you just go, if you're in the final pose and you just go like this, you're not taking advantage of stage time or positioning. If I'm here, doesn't it look more confident? Okay? So you can turn your head back around, but I really want you to work on when you turn. See how I'm already bringing my head first. So if I'm turning, my body is kind of, there, see? Brought my head first, and then my body comes. Now, that's swimsuit, and swimsuit is fun. So have fun. Once you get the technical stuff down, then you have the fun. Posture is crucial. Gown, totally different walk. So gown is presenting yourself. So you're not in a rush. You are not speeding through this. You are taking your time. You are making an entry. And so what you're doing is posture is key. I get up against the wall before I head out on stage, and I'm placing my feet. I'm not just walking. Here's just walking in gown. Okay, which is fine. I want to show you walking in gown, which is placing your feet, fully controlling your feet. I'm actually using a lot more muscles in my legs. I'm controlling my walk. And I want my arms to do a little bit of movement, but not a lot. So I'm, again, moving the arms really just from the shoulder. Usually with a gown, you're doing a circle, right? So you're trailing with your head. I'm swinging my head around slowly. Nothing is ever jerky and fast. I walk forward to position in front of judges. I step back and I pull. Well, pulling means I'm bringing my leg up to touch on my toe. When I do that, at the same time, I'm pulling my hand, my hip. It should be one complete action. Now, if you decide you're going to do two hands on your hips, it's step forward, step back, up. Step forward, step back, up. Now, if you have, I don't recommend two hands on your hips unless you're going for a miss. If Miss USA, step forward, step back, and notice how the head's up too. Here is for misses. Misses is step forward, step back, and I think depending on your gown, you can either do one hand on your hip, so it's step forward, step back, and pull. That's for a misses. Or I tend to do this. When I'm walking in a straight line on stage, to come to the front, I'll walk forward. Okay? Because I have a certain gown that I want to show it all off, show my figure off. So what you'll do is you want to practice sinking your hip into one. You're going to practice putting one hand here. Notice how I'm not like big hands. You want to keep your hands small and minimal. You never want your hands in front of your gown. Here's how most people pose for gown. I don't know why. It doesn't look good, does it? Why would you put your hands in the front of your gown? So you want to make sure that when you're walking towards judges in gown, the posture is incredible. And also, do you see how my arms aren't everywhere? Here's what most people do in gown. They walk and it's like this. I don't know what I'm doing. So the lack of control and the lack of understanding what looks good on stage is what holds people back from winning. So notice how my hands, when I'm walking, they're kind of a little bit in front. Now for USA, I notice more girls are going kind of behind. I notice that they're a little bit more behind with their arms. You can do that, either one. But in Mrs. World, I am doing more just keeping it near my body, right? Pose, and then I'm sinking into my hip, and then I'm doing this. So when I'm doing it, I'm keeping my hands pretty flat against my body, and I'm keeping the curve, because I want them to see my figure in the gown, and I want to focus it just on a beautiful pose. So practice going in front of the mirror with your gown, and look for the best pose, and practice falling into it so that it's easy, because some people go too high up, that doesn't look good. Or you're too low, that doesn't look good. So you have to find the right place. I find my hip is here, so just an inch below my hip is where I like it. So gown, again, it is upper body towards judges, it's posture, it's controlling your movements. You will do a circle in gown, usually for every system. So as you turn and you're training with your eye, notice how as I turn around, I want to do that circle for you again. So I'm up facing, okay, and then I'm turning. I quickly, without looking herky-jerky, I'm bringing my shoulder around. It'll look better. Look at, here's how regular people do it. Regular people walk. Okay, that's not presenting yourself. Here's how I do it. Upper body. Shoulder to you. I come towards you. Then I'm ready to pose. Okay? So you want to really take your time with all that. How do you leave? 2 steps to the judges again. And then as you're going off, you can choose to look over your shoulder. I like that for USA in particular, depending on how the stage configuration is. As I said, some people come center, go forward, do a circle, then go off diagonally. Other systems will have you do different things. So if you have any questions, once you find out what the configuration, the walking pattern is on stage, just let me know, and I will tell you how I would leave or what you should do posing-wise. Also, same with your gown. Once you get your gown on, I really want to see you posing so that I can help you determine the best way for you to pose. But the standard rule is Miss USA, it's going to be with your hands on both hands on your hips. When you're in a line with everybody, you need all the attention drawn to you. So if you're in a line on stage in gown, you're all standing there, you can stand this way, and then after a little bit, I want you to switch it up. Why? It pulls the eye to you. So then you can go this way. If you're standing there for a long period of time, don't worry about popping any leg. Just rest them. Stand on both feet, but still keep them kind of pretty. You know, even if they're not seeing it, you just want to see the shape in your dress, so just stand there. Relax your mouth. You don't always have to be like a big cheesy smile, because you'll end up getting like a little bit of a cramp in your cheek, and it hurts, and you feel stupid, so you just need to, you can smile a little bit, and then I bring my smile down to a pleasant expression on your face where your teeth are not showing, and then you can bring the smile back up. But you don't want to be that fake person sitting on the stage and she's like this the whole time, no matter what's going on. It just looks silly. Now, when you're on stage for a really long time and nothing's happening and they're not looking at just you, I want you to stand like this. Hands low. That way you keep your shoulders back. It'll keep your posture nice and straight on stage, and you never feel like you're getting too tired and you're starting to lose your posture. The posture is crucial. When you're on stage competing and you're with a lineup of the top 5 or the top 10, that's when you can really make sure you're facing the judges in your gown, and always keep your head up, perfect posture. They're looking for the queen right now. You cannot move, I'm not kidding you. You can move with your head slightly, small movements. You can smile, of course, but I don't ever want you dropping it. You can see people when they get tired, they start dropping their shoulders, they lose their posture, their head juts forward, their whole body starts slumping. And it looks like they've lost confidence. They don't believe in themselves. The girl who's left standing like this, without moving, she's going to be the winner. When I saw April Lafrui win Mrs. World, she did this pose for swimsuit and this pose for gown. And she was perfection and she never moved. I mean, she was literally like a statue the entire time. So you really want to make sure that you have perfect posture. I can't stress that enough. So, top 5 answers. You go up, you might choose from a fishbowl, or they might say it to you. You can start off like this, and then I really want you to use your hands and talk. Usually they will hold the mic. If they're going to give you the mic, then you step forward. So if they give it to you and you're ready, then you can step forward. It's time for you to speak to the judges and the audience. So speak first to the judges, then you can address the audience, then you can come back to the person, hand them the mic, and then upper body facing judges, you're leaving, okay? So just really make sure that you know how it's going to go down for the top 5. Top 5, final question, you can also hold your hands here, and then hold them out as you're talking and giving your final answer. If she's holding the microphone for you, then you want to go ahead and address the crowd this way. And you can start with the answer directed to the person asking, but then pull it out. It's got to be to everybody, and they want to hear projection. Do you hear how my voice is projecting? This is your voice for final answer. You have to feel like an orator, like a motivational speaker. Speak coming from your heart, but as the queen, not as you. This is about what would the queen say, what's appropriate for her to say to everybody. And again, it's going to be a nice, slow, graceful walk as you're leaving in gown. So if there's anything I haven't covered or you have still questions on, let me know. But I want you to practice on the left-hand side of the stage. Left leg is popped, right? And then as I head over to the right side of the stage, then the right foot is popped. What do you do when you're in the middle? In the middle, it doesn't matter. You can choose. You can either pop your right or you can pop your left. When I'm in the middle, I like to have both of my hands on my hips. If you're on the ends, you can always just have one hand on your hip. In terms of introduction, if you are going to announce yourself, your state, your country, it should be, again, coming out on stage, upper body to judges, terrific posture, great energy. You're waiting, I'm waiting, I'm waiting. Then they call me, I come forward. Wendi Russo, Mrs. Minnesota. Projection. You don't know where the microphone's going to be. Is it high? Is it low? Don't touch it. Don't lean forward. I don't want to see any of that. So don't be adjusting. You're usually not allowed to. The worst thing you can see is someone leaning down. It just really makes you look unprofessional. So you stand, you wait. When you come forward, if you're doing USA, you could do a leg out. Misses generally don't do that unless they're in their 20s. So girls who are young, you could come to the mic's right in front of you, and you could go, Cheryl Ann, Miss Illinois. See how I'm moving my body? So I'm starting at this side of the room, and then I'm bringing it this way. You could do it that way. Now how do you get out of this? Your legs are spread, right? You bring it back, and then I'm going to go off. So depending on which way you're going to leave is how you do the leg switch. So if I want to leave the other way, what do? Shift my weight, step back with my left leg. Now I'm ready to go off to the left. So when you see people do step backs, it's because they're trying to switch so they can go the other direction. So if you're posed this way, you're poised to leave this way with your right foot, right? So if you want to leave to go that way, what do? Do you do a cross around? No, it's terrible. So you can do a switch, and now you're ready to walk off. All right, I hope that I have helped you. I think that there's a lot for you to practice. The posture is really crucial. The extension of the leg in swimsuit. Your energy has to be high when you're out in swimsuit. It's a happy thing. Facial expressions are key in both areas of competition. In swimsuit, you can start off a little bit low with your smile and then get really big as you look out. You know, they want to have fun. Your final position, like I'd say, if you're coming to the judges like on one side or in the center, you choose where. I want you could do a little laugh. I push in my abdomen, and you push in a little bit to push out a smile so that you have a little more personality. Otherwise, you see people who have the same expression the entire time, and it's a complete snooze fest. So you want to kind of pull out, you could pull out a little laugh. I know one girl, every single competition, she pulls out the laugh at her first stop, and then she pulls out her laugh at her last stop, and she always wins. In terms of gown. So when you're doing gown, you don't need a huge smile all the time, but you need a pleasant smile. You can bring it down and then bring it up. So in gown, maybe when you're walking in a circle, you can bring it down and then bring it up. And then I'm coming back around. Medium smile, right? And then when I get to my mark, big, really big. Looking at all the judges, right? And then look up and out to the audience. Take your time. You should be on stage for 30 seconds. Okay, so you want to change your expressions. So bring it down, bring it up. Never look angry. You never want to be, like you're trying to be too sexy. That's kind of annoying. But you'll see when you watch USA, there's some girls who will pose. They'll get to their first mark, and they're like, even Miss Universe, she'll start off a little bit lower and then get really big at her final mark. It makes people like you. So whether you're in gown or swimsuit, we really need that. After you land, the smile's got to come up real big right there. And then don't forget, you're never making herky-jerky movements in either portion, but especially in gown. Everything has to be very well paced and relaxed. Basically in gown, if your walk just looks like a regular walk, you're not doing it right. It should fit, and again, I'm using all my muscles, my toes to grip the floor. I'm using my calf muscles to hold on because I'm really controlling my walk. And usually when you're going really slow in gown, you don't need to move your arms, right? You're going really slow. But it looks nice on stage to have some arm movement when you're walking in gown, even though you're going so slow. So just make sure that you're still allowing your arms to move at a relaxed pace. The relax and also you presenting yourself like you're the queen, those are the key things. Before you go out on stage, I want you to think to yourself, I am Miss whatever, I am Mrs. whatever. Get in your head, because this is a head game. You have to feel confident that you're presenting the queen. And most of the time we're like, I don't know, can I win? Am I pretty enough? Am I this enough? Am I that enough? You have to really eliminate all of that and just go down to the very basics of, I am Mrs. United States. and just come out as if you were Mrs. United States or whatever your title is you're going for. Because I want you to embody what that is. Instead of looking for approval and being out there, I hope you like me. Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? I really want you to just be, so that you have that confidence that says, I just am. I'm the queen. So they know when you come out. All right, let me know if you have any questions. And I hope that you learned a lot today. Good luck. I know you can do it.